I could hear you through that. Evan Ginzburgs here with Legends TV and my co-host Steve Ludwig.
How are you, Evan?
Very good. And next week you're going to be in the big chair. And
that's right.
Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, I know you're going to talk in a few minutes about why you won't be here, but I will be humbly sitting in your seat, and my co-host is going to be the million-selling artist Gary DiCarlo of Steam. Na Na Hey Hey Kissing Goodbye, and Gary is going to be here with me. We're also going to have a very hot band, the Michael Lewis Band.
Tell us about them.
They're just down and dirty rock and roll. Really good club.
The way you like it.
The way down and dirty, anything is good with me.
That's right.
But yeah, the great sound. I had Michael on my radio show, and you were nice enough to allow me to bring him on next week, and wait till the people see him. And Gary DiCarlo, his reputation speaks for itself.
So you like that old school rock and roll. Tell us about some of the bands you like.
Well, I mean, you start with the Beatles. I saw them on Ed Sullivan.
I vaguely heard of them.
One-hit wonders, but for some reason they just keep coming back. I start with the Beatles. I saw them on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1964. I was in 5th grade. And then the Beatles are up here, and then, you know, the others kind of fall into place. I love the Kinks, any British Invasion group, garage bands, Question Mark and the Mysterians.
That's right.
They are so... They're great. You know, anything kind of just nice, basic, and, you know, raw.
Let me tell you my itinerary for the next week. On Tuesday, I'm going to go see Cody Chestnut, who is very, how do I say it, eclectic, maybe even eccentric, but he's a genius. He's like Prince. Cody Chestnut, for those who never heard of him. And on Wednesday, I'm going to see Lawrence Worrell, Law, nephew of Bernie Worrell and grandson of Sam Bluesman Taylor from BT Express. On Thursday, I'm going to see the Ohio Players. The Ohio Players. Skin Tight, Love Roller Coaster, Fire, Sweet Sticky Thing.
You don't get out of it.
This is where my tastes lie. I like that R&B and funk. But
you know, music is the international language. I have this conversation more than once with a buddy of mine. We both love sports, we both love music, and we said choose one. If you only have one in your lifetime, and both of us say music all the way.
You want to know something? I was having this conversation. I am so turned off to sports. I'm the only guy in America that doesn't watch football, hockey, basketball. I am so repulsed by the salaries, the strikes, the ticket prices, the management. The New York Knicks are $95 to several thousand courtside for regular season tickets. Why should I have any emotional investment?
Yeah, how do, you know, us or me, middle class fan, afford that?
You're retiring as a school teacher soon.
I'm retiring in 2 weeks.
So one paycheck wouldn't even pay for a courtside seat at a regular season Knick game. It's $3,000 and change, and I think it's almost absurd. And I really don't want to be sitting in a building full of stockbrokers. You know, when I was a Knick fan as a kid in '69 and '73 in the glory years, that was a blue collar team for a blue collar audience. When I was a kid in 1969, Tom Seaver got $100,000, and it was almost scandalous. It was considered so much money that people were amazed.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure, I think Mickey Mantle may have been one of the very first to get $100,000. Same thing was like, even Mickey Mantle's not worth $100,000.
Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I think premier athletes should be paid well, and I'm not for the management. But at the same time, it shouldn't be so outpriced because of it that you literally can't afford to go to a game. And
well,
take a family with 2 or 3 kids, and they just can't do it.
You look at the Yankee games. If you watch on TV, you'll see all the seats behind home plate, the close seats, the good seats.
Right.
75-80% are empty because they outpriced themselves.
Because they were $2,500 at Yankee Stadium. They graciously lowered it to $1,250.
Yeah, good. I still can't.
Yeah, exactly. $1,250 for a regular season game behind home plate, so it's empty. And they're mediocrities to begin with, the Mets and the Yankees.
Yeah. And I was at one of the Yankee games. I sit up top, where it's my level of affordability, And they have these people walking around, Yankee employees, saying, how can we help you? Blah, blah, blah. So this gentleman gave me his card. I emailed the Yankees and I said, I've been coming to Yankee games since the 60s. We used to be able, when the game was getting near the end, you could walk down wherever there were empty seats. I said, now you've priced the real fans out.
Exactly.
And of course, I never heard back from them. Because, who am I? A Joe Schmo who doesn't, go to every game because I can't afford it.
So today in New York, this show goes all over the world, but the New York Ranger fans are very upset, and I know you're one of them.
Yep.
But at the same time, if you lose 4 out of 5 games, and the ticket prices are so obscenely expensive that you can't even go to the game,
yep. Mm-hmm.
I personally don't have that emotional investment.
A buddy of mine has Ranger season tickets. he splits them with 2 other guys, so it's a third season pay for him. But the playoff tickets, actually the Stanley Cup final ticket, I think was 450% higher than the regular season ticket.
450%.
Yep.
Okay.
And he went to 1 game. He said, I can't go to, they only played, only had a couple games at the Gardens, it turned out, but he couldn't afford it to go to Game 6 if he
So my mantra has always been support indie everything.
Yep.
Support indie filmmakers, support indie musicians, go out to a club, get away from the computer, get away from the TV, support live indie everything, and you will not be disappointed. Even in sports, if you go to a minor league game, they can't do enough for you. Here's a T-shirt. Here's some presents.
Yep.
Here's some cheap food coupons. I mean,
If you want to get a kid, a youngster involved in sports,
take
baseball,
them to a minor league game.
Absolutely, it's so family friendly, and like I said, it's fun. They have running around the base races and things like this. Yeah, absolutely. That's the way to get into it.
And don't get me wrong. A couple months ago, we went to see the Stylistics and the Dramatics and the Emotions.
Sorry, air quotes.
Oh, that was a different show. But,
okay, right, right.
But we went to the Beacon Theater.
Yeah.
We saw the 70s Soul Jam, and
whatever
it was, $70, $80. I don't begrudge spending money to see quality entertainment, but don't pick my pocket. Don't take a vacuum and suck every penny dry. Like you go into Yankee Stadium and it's $35 to park a car. It's already getting mercenary. And
I don't drink. I'm glad I don't, because it's $11 a beer.
Yeah, I'll never be an alcoholic because at 12, 13, 14, 15 bucks for a beer or a drink.
If you want to not be an alcoholic, go to Yankee
Exactly.
Stadium. Speaking of drinking, I want to drive our camera woman, Vicky, a little nutty here. This is what Vicky hates, everybody. A bottle.
Not that company.
No, Aquafina is great, but just the fact that I'm holding a bottle of water up, she hates to have it on camera. But there you go, Vicky, just to keep you going cuckoo.
Yeah.
Vicky's great. You gotta love Vicky. That's why I bust her.
So next week's going to be a big show for you, and yours truly will be at the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and Fan Fest. I'll be with Nicole Bass next Saturday in Rhode Island.
Memorable appearance on this show with Nicole Bass.
That's right, and we're going to come back with Nicole in August to Legends TV and have a 50th birthday celebration.
Wow.
And Nicole can be heard this Monday on the Howard Stern Show as well. And she's got all kinds of Twitter and a Facebook page now. She's getting all her social media back into play.
Yeah, I missed her being in the limelight. She's such a colorful character.
Her husband was very ill for quite a while, and she was basically the caretaker. And I always like to acknowledge the caretakers because they don't get paid what they should, and they're tireless and selfless. The many caretakers out there. America is an aging population. You have so many people in their 80s, 90s, even over 100, and there's a lot of caretakers out there that really sacrifice a lot.
As you've often said to me in private conversation, we have become our parents' parents.
That's right.
To the kids, now that they're aging.
Absolutely.
They become like kids.
Middle-aged people become the parents to their parents, and it's not easy whatsoever. And your dad just passed, and your mother-in-law just passed, and my mother's had mental health issues, and it's a rough road. Road. So on that happy note, we're going to switch to the goofiness of pro wrestling, and we're going to show this video clip. We're going to show this video clip promoting June 21st, next Saturday's New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and Fan Fest with Bushwhacker Luke. Check it out, folks.
Whoa! Yay! G'day mateys, WWE legend here, Bushwhacker Luke. Boy, am I excited. Yes, I'm just going to put on my marching boots and start marching, because on June the 21st, and that's a Saturday, I'm marching up to New England. Yes, Warwick, Rhode Island, for the New England Fan Fest. Boy, what a load of stars I've got on this card. Two of the greatest NWA World Champions of all times, Harley Race and Dory Funk. Plus I've got Jim the Anvil Neidhart, The Hammer, Greg Valentine, Scott Norton, Deborah, Larry Sabisco, Scott Hall and X-Pac, The Brain Bobby Heenan, Scott Steiner, Tony Garea, another Kiwi, and the Nasty Boys, and Helms, yes, boy, Hurricane Helms, he's there, flying around everywhere, plus many, many more stars, and all the local talent from that area. So folks, come and see them. Get the past back into the present, because I'll be there shaking a few hands, licking a few heads, and this will be a day to remember. Remember, the New England Fan Fest, June the 21st, that's a Saturday, the Crown Plaza, Warwick, Rhode Island. Be there. Whoa! Because this is going to be a bloody silver knocker. Yay!
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So come by the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and Fan Fest next Saturday. I believe it's 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can check the website, and please come by and say hello to yours truly. And I will be with Nicole Bass, the ninth wonder of the world. So come by.
Are you going to be selling any wares? I know you have some great wrestling
we'll sell
memorabilia.
Legends TV T-shirts and great wrestling memorabilia.
Now you have some collection of that you have to sell.
Oh yeah. Come on by and check out the old school memorabilia and Mexican wrestling masks and such. So it'll be a blast. And I'll take a rare Saturday off and leave it in the capable hands of Steve Ludwig.
Oh yeah, thank you. I thought there was something behind me of it.
And speaking of wrestling, later in the show we have General Romero and Chris Michaels from the WWO, and also of course Lisa Palizzi from great rock band. They're going to be doing a live set, and we'll be interviewing them in just a bit.
Great sound check with them, by the way, today.
That's right. Great sound check and a great live set at the end of the show.
Yep.
And Steve, tell us about your show.
Well, thanks, Evan. I have Steve Ludwig's Classic Pop Culture on planetludwig.com. Coming up this Tuesday. It premieres every Tuesday at 6, but then it's archived immediately like your radio show every Wednesday, and so people can listen to it any time. But great song from the 60s, They're Coming to Take Me Away.
Oh, yeah.
I love getting into that kind of pop culture thing.
Right.
Well, Jerry Samuels is his name. We know him as Napoleon XIV. We've already pre-taped the interview, and all I can tell you is some of the things that he said during the interview are incredible. He actually gave me an exclusive about a song that he had written, a song that Sammy Davis covered, "The Shelter of My Arms," and Sammy Davis named his album that song as well. It's a very well-known song, and but he's told something in public that he's never told about that song, so it's really pretty exciting. And he gets a little PG-13 R-rated during the interview, which I love because
it's net radio. That's okay.
Yeah, it's net radio, and plus he's a controlled live wire. You know what I mean? He's like, he knows what he's saying, and he knows he can go just so far, but it's a great interview and great music, too, that we have. I think a lot of people would be surprised at a lot of the songs that he has written. A lot of people just know him as this crazy novelty that come to take me away, but...
And by the time I come back to the show in 2 weeks, you'll have retired after 38 years of teaching.
Yes.
Has it sunk in?
Mm-hmm. No. You know what? I even during the summer, I think it's going to just feel like summer vacation.
Right.
But when you come back on the show June 28th, which is a great show,
you'll be retired.
I'll have a full head of hair again.
That's right.
Because I had a full head when I started.
That's right.
And I'll be a lot lighter. I'll be floating. Yeah, I'll be retired, officially retired.
Unbelievable.
And
2 weeks.
I've gotten some really cool retirement guests. I want to save them for that show to show the audience, though, on June 28th. Some really cool stuff.
So, folks, don't you dare go anywhere. When we come back, Lisa Palizzi and her band and much, much more right here on Legends TV. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
All right. I'm trying to get in the scene here.
Oh, my get it
God.
down.
All right, I'm in. Hi.
Hi, I'm Karen Vito.
Hi, and I'm Regina Galley.
We're here doing a show called Shake It Up.
Right, and Shake Up stands for style,
Health,
attitude,
kindness.
entertainment.
That's right. But
That's
really,
right.
it's more about gossip.
Yes.
Because that's what we do, we gossip.
We like to gossip.
I
We
love
like to gossip, interview people. We're going to have some health tips. We're going to tell you what's in, what's not.
Yeah,
We're
there's a
gonna have
lot of things that's
fun.
not in, though. That's,
Yeah,
I
that's
really
the
want to
problem.
focus on what's not in.
People
because
don't know what's age
They make
appropriate.
mistakes. They
Yeah,
just make mistakes.
They just.
So we're going to correct those mistakes.
Yeah. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m., so we want you to join us. And we're also going to have a great segment on health and what's new.
Wellness.
Yes,
Wellness.
health and wellness. What's
Very
new,
important
what's
to
not.
us.
Yeah.
We work really hard with that. We coach a lot of people through that.
Yep.
So you're going to join us.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
You're going to get healthy.
Yeah. And you're going to have a good time. Oh, and we're also going to have the curse jar.
Yes. I love that.
That's going to be awesome. $5, for fuck's sake.
Come see us in the morning.
Bye. Join us.
I'm not talking about myself.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with Legends TV. And we are joined by Lisa Palizzi
Yep.
with her band. And please introduce the gentleman.
Okay, this is the mighty Vic.
How's everybody doing?
This is Rick Ventura. And Claudio Galinsky. Drums, guitar, bass.
Now
All right.
introduce the
Nice to meet you,
gentleman,
Vic.
please.
There you go.
Nice to meet you, Claudia.
Nice meeting you, yeah.
And tell us how you all combine forces.
Want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I met Lisa at an audition for vocal a while ago, and in all honesty, we didn't hear each other sing or any of that. But then a little bit later, I saw Lisa on a video and said, all right, I got to work with Lisa. Started talking a little bit. We did a benefit together and said, yeah, this is working. And then we got Rick involved, and it started to gel a little bit more. And then Claudio came into the picture, and the band is just killer. It's just killer.
And we're going to hear a live set at the end of the show.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And Lisa, tell us some of your musical influences.
Okay, starting way back when, early childhood, Elvis Presley was a big inspiration.
Okay.
I loved Elvis. And then my parents were older than most kids' parents. My mom had me a little late in life, so
Okay.
I loved like Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry. You know, all the
Steve was just listening to Chuck Berry. He was saying how brilliant some of the B cuts that you never hear were.
Yeah, I got an
Those are
old
the best.
CD set.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, this guy, not the hits, but he's
Definitely
fantastic.
I had a music
Wonderful.
teacher who says he thinks Chuck Berry was the king of rock and roll,
Oh,
in his
without a doubt.
opinion.
Oh,
yes. Then as I got older, you know, my own interests and singers that were out at the time, I kind of got into like, you know, Debbie Gibson, Tiffany, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston.
You like the belters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I used to love watching Star Search. I used to watch biographies on singers, movies about singers. If a commercial came on and somebody was singing, I'd run to the TV because I heard somebody singing. I was like, but then I was singing at a family party, and I was doing Whitney's "I Will Always Love You," and somebody says, you know, every time I see you sing, you remind me of somebody, and they're like, you know, have you ever listened to like Janis Joplin? And I've heard the name before. Ever since they mentioned that, I went out and bought every Janis CD,
Right.
and I would say that she is my all-time favorite now, ever since that moment.
She's that perfect mix of tough and vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right.
And the stuff she sang, I mean, today, you know, originals is where it's at, but she had a way of taking covers and making them totally different songs. Like Piece
Sure.
of My Heart, the blues song is totally different from her rendition of it.
Absolutely.
You know, and she used to listen to like Lead Belly and stuff like that, and it's unbelievable. She was ahead of her time.
And gentlemen, tell us a little about yourselves. You're from Argentina?
I'm from Argentina. I've been here for about 25 years, and I've been playing for a long time, since I'm 10 years old. So, love drums. I love every aspect of music. I've always been involved in music, and playing with
Who do you consider some of the great drummers?
Well, my early influence was Deep Purple.
I'm going to see them in August.
Yeah. Return to Forever. A lot of the greats. I love every drummer. I admire everyone. So
One of the greatest shows I ever saw was Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers.
Oh, they're
People were
great.
dancing in the aisles.
Absolutely.
And I saw Max Roach do solo drum shows where he would just play the drums for about
Right.
50 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
Solo drum shows.
Unbelievable.
And also Andrew Cyril, who was avant-garde, he would play the floor, the wall, and then the drum kit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, a lot of
amazing.
those drummers back then, they were dancers, and they had all these incredible abilities. They were multi-talented. So
Why
I
did-
admire everyone.
I'm sorry, why the drums out of any instrument? Why did you choose the drums?
I was just banging things when I was
Yeah.
a kid. So my brother brought me a drum set when I was 10, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I love every instrument. I try to play bass, and I do a little bit, but I always go to, it's just my heart. It goes with my heartbeat, and I'm the happiest when I'm sitting in a drum set. So
That's great.
can't do anything else.
Tell us a little
Guitar.
about yourself.
Well, guitar-wise, influence,
Sure.
late 50s, early 60s blues players, from Albert King, Buddy Guy, early blues breakers, Eric Clapton. Those are the guys, basically Clapton in those early days. But then you learned from that, and then you went back and found out, wow, he's doing Buddy Guy. That was a revelation.
Buddy Guy's still out there, 75
Yeah.
or so. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw Albert King live. There used to be the three Kings, B.B. King, Albert King, and Freddie
Yes,
King.
I got to see Muddy Waters
Oh, yeah.
a few years before he passed.
So always better to see them before they pass.
Yeah, it's usually
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
You know, I can't go see Jimi Hendrix or.
Jimi Hendrix is still putting out albums.
Yes.
He's terrific. I'm very impressed by that. Him and Michael Jackson, they have a studio out there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wish I could have seen Les Paul, speaking of
I
guitars.
saw him live.
At the Iridium, I know he had that.
He was like
gig.
112. He was still gigging.
Yeah,
It was,
right.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay. As far as influences, my first influence on bass was Paul McCartney. The first album I ever went and bought was Wings' Greatest Hits. And shortly after, I got my first bass and just started playing to the records and picking everything up. Shortly after, I started getting more into Rush, Led Zeppelin, Cream, all that kind of stuff. And again, most of my training was sitting, listening to records, picking stuff out like that. And played in many bands, throughout the years. And then I found out, while I loved all these players and all the 60s Stax guys and all that kind of great stuff, we really got into Zeppelin. And what we found out was, listening to Zeppelin is great and getting the influence from them is great, but we went to find where they were influenced. So you go back
Blues.
to blues, ethnic musics, soul, R&B, James Brown, Otis Redding, just tribal musics, African, whatever it may be, and emulating that instead of just trying to pick out a player's stuff and,
I always loved the funk bassist, Bootsy.
Oh, Bootsy, yeah.
Brothers Johnson.
Sure.
And
Stomp.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Bassist boy.
James Jameson.
Jim Jameson, Gerald Jemmett, yeah, all those guys, I mean, I started out wanting to be a drummer, but living in a one-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn didn't really.
I grew up in a one-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, East Flatbush.
True, I was in Gravesend. Before that, I lived in Little Italy, and I'm not that old a guy, but I remember we had a one-bedroom apartment on Hester Street between Mott and Mulberry, and we had the box and the chain toilet.
Wow. You ever see the movie Hester Street with Carol Kane? Great film.
I know
It's
I'm
in
sure
black
I've
and
seen
white.
it. Yeah.
It's a modern film done in black and white. You ever see it? Hester Street. Awesome.
check it out.
Awesome.
Wow.
You got me.
Gotta check it out.
It's set about 100 years ago. It's all about immigration
Right.
to that area. Great film.
And so wanted to be a drummer. Finally, at about age 13 or 14, I got a guitar. That was frustrating, but I found out I was picking out the bass lines of disco songs because I lived in Brooklyn. And that's where it all started. And then I finally got a bass and that whole 9 yards.
And Steve wanted to ask Lisa about her disco
Yeah,
experiences.
Lisa, I was reading your bio, and you had shared a room with Frances Jolie.
France Jolie, yeah.
And Evan and I have had some disco diva queens on, and James Arena wrote a couple of books on disco music. And I grew up as a big Beatles fan, and there was like death to disco. But now, over the years, I see that it's a very. Do you consider it? Disco has such a bad rep, I
Yeah.
think. Like it's just dance music, or not that there's anything wrong with that, but. Do you think disco is right up there with R&B and any other kind of music, or is it not quite as good? You know what I mean? Because now I've learned a new appreciation.
As far as
of it.
disco, I don't think there's as much songs out there as there are like genres like R&B and rock. I mean, there's not. I think disco had a short, period where it didn't get to go any further. I mean, rock bands like Rolling Stones and stuff like that started touching on disco. They were trying to get with it.
Yeah.
I have to say, when I shared the room with France, it was for Mickey B's disco show. And when I was first asked to do it, I was like, oh, I don't know, disco.
I think that's a general
Yeah,
feeling.
I have to admit I wasn't. But so I thought, okay, there's got to be some disco songs I can connect with. And I remember as a kid watching Donna Summer. So I was like, all right, I have to do a Donna Summer tune. If anybody is the best in disco, I would say that's one album I would probably listen to an entire album of disco. So yeah.
And there's a thin line with some disco and R&B. I mean, it's just because it's kind of like
disco's
more
really
of a dance
R&B.
beat. It's R&B with a
Chic is an R&B band. There's
Yeah.
nobody better than Nile
Yeah.
Rodgers.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as those old disco tracks, like Chic and such, Donna Summer tracks, and all of the Tavares and all those guys, those were some heavy played tracks. They didn't have all the synthesizers and such, and so on back then. So you had guys that were monster
And
players.
the brass,
you know,
I mean, my
brass,
gosh.
instrumentalists, whatever it might be, and excellent vocalists come out and laying this stuff down,
Right.
and writing that book. You know what I'm saying? And they took a lot of the old James Brown book, because that was an original, manuscript there, and the playing is just incredible. If you go back and listen to a lot of those lines and a lot of the guitar playing, how funky it is.
As a bass player, you must
God,
right? Really
it's
appreciate.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I do definitely have a much better appreciation of disco music than I did when I was growing
As
up.
a bass player, you must love Larry Graham.
Of course.
He's going to be at BB King's sometime
Larry
this summer.
Graham,
Cool.
Larry Graham's pushing 70. He's a showman,
Really?
boy, showman.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. So why don't you give out your contact information, all of you?
A contact?
You're on Facebook, I know.
Yeah, we don't have a
Websites,
website just yet, but Reverb Nation, Facebook. I'm on Twitter.
What's your Twitter name, if you don't mind?
Polisado, Polisado. The way I did that, if you want to know how I came up with it,
Sure.
P-O for Polizzi, L-I-S-A, Do for the end of my maiden name, Delgado, Polisado.
That's a neat story.
That would be a good name for a song.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, history of your life, a little autobiographical song.
And gentlemen, any contact information?
Yeah, you could catch me at the cardboard box on the corner of Wantoy. You can catch me at The Mighty Vic on Facebook, and also Vic Palermo, my personal page on Facebook. You want my phone number?
It's on the bathroom wall. Don't worry about it.
Can't contact me.
His
friends can't contact me.
his voicemail says, "Hi, it's Rick. Even with the cell phone, you can't reach me."
That's Rick. See the Mighty Vic.
All right.
Yeah.
Contact
Call
Vic,
Vic, yeah.
and then he'll call me.
Right. Claudio Galinsky, Galinski, and I also am sponsored by Istanbul Symbols, and I'm in their page, So that's basically, and with Elisa Polisi.
Great. And final question, any upcoming gigs?
Yes, we have one tonight, actually, at Duffy's in Lindenhurst. Next week, we're going to be at the Red River Inn in Yaphank. We recently did a show in May at 89 North. We're going to be back there again in August. We're going to hit Nassau next month at KJ Farrell's. So, yeah, we have a lot of good gigs coming up.
There you
Excited.
go. Yeah. There you go. It's been great talking with you. And later in the show, a full set. So we're psyched about that, folks. Don't you dare go anywhere. Our professional wrestling segment coming up right after this.
Old Spice Body Spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face. Goodbye. Oh no! Power!
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Oh, Old Spice Body Spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
Try this routine to feel fresh and clean. Pair Charmin Fresh Mates with your Charmin.
Oh, Spice Body Spray is too powerful to stay in its own commercial. That's right. Power. Old Spice Body Spray can change a regular smelling man into a man who smells like power.
Now, how is this? Wow, you know what? I actually do feel more powerful.
Potato chips! Power! It's me.
Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for our wrestling segment with Chris Michaels and General Romero. How are you guys doing today?
Good, good. Great, Evan. It's a pleasure to be back in Madhouse Studios once again.
And you are representing the WWO, yes. And August 23rd, you're coming back with a huge show to the Elks Lodge. Update us. I was at the big relaunch a couple of weeks back, and tell us what you got happening on the 23rd.
Okay, well, already signed right now at this moment, we have for August 23rd, the tag team signed already now. It'll be a rematch between One Night Only versus Style and Finesse Tag Team Championship match. We have Hawaii Allen going against Intruder number 1. And we will have Rage, who was here recently, will be defending his open challenge belt, so we don't know who is going to issue him the challenge on that night, so that'll be a little bit of a nail-biter for us. That'll be exciting. And we have a Legends match with Jason Knight versus Gary Wolf, one of the Pitbulls. So that's what we have confirmed at this time for that. And we... at this time also, we're having a Battle Royal match that's going to take place that the last 2 combatants left in the ring are going to compete for the vacated title for the WWO Heavyweight Championship.
And tell us about your own role in all of this. You're the commissioner, I
Yes,
believe?
I'm the commissioner of this organization. I'm not wrestling with them, although I do have a wrestling background. But for this particular organization, they're using my expertise in the wrestling business to be able to maintain, control, and be able to consciously put together a good quality show for the public. You know, we always say we're bringing back traditional old school wrestling, but we're also bringing back family entertainment. So this is a PG-13. You're not going to see blood and guts. You're not going to see exploitation of women. So it's the wrestling that you're not ashamed to bring your grandmother to go see.
There you go. And General Romero, tell us a little about yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is General Romero. I come from Barcelona, Spain. You know, my ancestor is the great Julian Romero. You know, I recently found out that I had great ancestry background. You know, great generalship, great war history. So I figured, I said, you know what? I'm going to create an army of my own, and we're going to bring it to the world, to New York, Connecticut, wherever. Maybe BWF, WWO, and we're going to show that the Spaniards do have great wrestling background, along with war background. So WWO, get ready, because not only that, I will be in the Battle Royal, and oh my God, it's going to be a war.
And tell us about the flag.
Well, the flag, this is the national flag of Spain. You know, this is what I hold dearly. This is what I represent every time. Even though my type of military is kind of rogue, we still keep the same, you know, the same background, the same rules that we follow in the Spanish military. You know, we always fight for the king. You know, in this case, our king is still over there. He sent me over here to take all the belts, take whatever territories I can take, whether it be WWO, whether it be anything, Connecticut, Long Island, Puerto Rico, even Japan. We're going everywhere, and we're going to take this very far.
Okay. And what we're going to do is take a very quick look at some WWO highlights. So rather than just talk about it, you're going to see it right here, the WWO, ladies and gentlemen.
WF, Bronx Wrestling Federation, we told y'all we was coming to seize, conquer, and destroy all competition, whether it be Bronco, Angel Azul, Disrespectfuls, Los Sucios, it doesn't matter who they are, because you know what, we're the one real heavyweight tag team, like the belts say, heavyweight tag team, and come June 7th, we're going to demonstrate just exactly how bad we want those belts. Tell them, man.
I came to this federation for one reason, and one reason only, to win championships. Whether I have to team with him or do it singles, no disrespect to the competition, no disrespect at all. Plenty of talent here, but talent only gets you a certain amount of space. I'm vicious. I'm gonna take it out on whoever's in the ring with me to show them that I'm coming for one reason, to get gold. I don't care who it is, tag team titles, universal title, US title, or even the holy grail of the BWF, the world title. I'm coming. With or without, I'm making a statement, and I've done it before. Last show, people thought that it was gonna be a fluke. It ain't no fluke when I get in the ring. I do what I gotta do to win. And I will make it so. June 7th, I don't care who's in the ring with me. I'm gonna take you out permanently, whether you like it or not.
We are back.
Good clip.
And that's some of the action you can expect with the WWO August 23rd at the elegant Elks Lodge on Queens Boulevard. That's right. So tell us about some of the guys in WWO. We were talking about some of the great talent, Casey Blade and...
You got Grey Wolf, you got Slugger, you got Hawaii Island, you got the Intruders, you got the Pitbull, Gary Wolf coming, Jason Knight.
And Gary Wolf's coming right here on June 28th. So
Yes, he is.
Pitbull, original ECW Pitbull.
Original Pitbull. And boy, is that going to be a match to remember. Two legends.
You know what I love about indie wrestling really is you're right there. You're right in on the action. That's why it has it. I'd much rather go to an indie show anytime than these big the WWE.
It's not a bad seat in the house.
Not
You
a
could be in
bad
the
seat in the
last
house.
row. You're right on top
Yep,
of it.
and it's a good
And
time
it's
no
more-
matter who's on the card.
And it's more fan interactive. It's not like, no disrespect to WWE or the other main attractions, but, in the indies, we could interact with the fans more. We get the fans more into it. We get them to cry. We get them to laugh. To me and to a lot of people, it's more entertaining.
Absolutely, and parents could bring the kids, and they'll get pictures and autographs with the wrestlers.
Right, exactly. And that's the aspect of the whole part of it, is the participation with the fans. For the price of a general admission ticket, you're actually able to interact, excuse me, with the wrestlers. You're actually able to sit there and shake hands, get a picture close up, and for the hundreds of dollars you could dole out for getting a ringside seat at Madison Square Garden, the closest thing you're going to get is what you see in that ring. You're not going to get interaction where you can shake hands, touch them, talk to them, get a little bit of little conversation going on with them, unless you dole out a couple $100 for an all-access backstage pass. So the
$599.
Lord.
WWE to meet a wrestler, get an autograph, and get a chair. Can you imagine? $599.
Well, they're giving him a chair. Amazing.
That's right.
Well, how much do the wrestlers get out of that too? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
From what you hear.
I'm not even going to speculate. But the better part about an indie show is the fan interaction, and you're able to, as I said, not a bad seat in the house, and you get to rub elbows with the talent, and that's what we offer, and that's the best part about independent wrestling, is there. You don't need opera glasses from the nosebleeds to see what's going on, or you don't have to look at their big giant monitor that they have over there because the people in the ring look like the people walking on the sidewalk when you're in the observation deck of the Empire State Building. Yeah. So you actually get sometimes you get the sweat coming off of them when someone lays a chopping. So it's the thing about independent wrestling that's great is the level of talent that you have, and you also see the fire in the young and up and comers, or the guys that are trying to carve their way, make their path, and try to become the next best thing. And the other thing, I guess the best part about indie wrestling, too, is it's affordable. You could bring a family of 4 or 6, and you don't have to max out your credit card or take a cash advance with that 36%, it's like loan sharking what they do to try to get that.
Right.
You know what else, Chris? I mean, a little kid's going to see General Romero, and he's going to go home that night, go to bed, and that's what he's going to be thinking of. I saw General Romero wrestle. You get up and close with all the wrestlers, and it means so much to little kids to pique their interest in wrestling because they're that close.
Well, yes, and what we want to do also with the World Wrestling Organization is we want to bring back the role model aspect of our guys. Well, what we're doing at our show coming up is the kids that have the good grades, bring in your report card, your last report card you get in June, we're going to discount your ticket. If you do well in school, we're going to reward you for that. And
that's $15 if they bring in a good report card. So, and that's coming in a week or two, right, Steve?
Yeah,
report cards.
School's over in 2 weeks. School's out for summer.
So that's a little bit of incentive. One of the ways we want to give back for giving a kid also a reason to say, hey, this is something we're doing, and if it's successful, we'll do it again, because there's nothing better than to give a kid motivation to do well in school. And that, to me, is a good way to reward them, especially if wrestling is one of the things that they enjoy.
And you're also having some interactive things like you're looking for female valets, and what else?
Right. Well, what we have also done, how we're connecting with our fan base, for people that, of course, before you become involved in the business, you're usually a fan first, Just like when you're a young boy, you watch baseball heroes, you have that as your motivation because these guys are the ones that inspire you to move on to greater things. So we had a contest for a ring announcer, and we brought in, after many submissions, Kevin Kruger, who was our new ring announcer. And we also had another contest for a girl to come out there to be a sign girl, or she comes out she comes out and brings back the wrestler's gear. So we actually have other people that we're looking for now to submit for color commentary. So we're trying to, once again, involve our fan base, and there are talented people that are out there that know more about wrestling than we know. So we want to encourage people to live your dream, and we're also going to provide that opportunity, and we're not going to fleece you and turn you upside down like the school bully trying to steal your lunch money.
That's right. We were just talking about that. I was ring announcing a few weeks back for America's Championship Wrestling, and I look across the ring, and there's Tito Santana, and we're in the ring together, and I'm like marking out, because I used to see him 30 years ago main event the Garden, so...
Well, I was a tag team champion with him back in the day. We were talking about Tommy D, Universal Wrestling Superstars, and I was a tag team champion with Tito Santana, ironically enough, you say that. But just want to focus a little bit on our talent. We have some rivalries, and we have some infighting amongst our guys. We have the battle right now with Intruder number 2. Right now, there's a personal vendetta between Damien Demento, who is now he's creating this stable of guys, his Demento's army. He's putting together, so they're looking to take over the World Wrestling Organization. Right now, they put a bounty on Intruder number 2's head, and another person we have is Intruder number 1, which we have suspended him, and he's one of the most violent people that we have in this organization. He's not all there. A few sandwiches short of a picnic, a couple of bricks short of a load, elevator doesn't reach the top floor. The guy he's definitely out there, and he's not coming back. And we're trying to, we're trying to give you the best that we can here, but we have to held this guy out at bay. We need to have extra security now because we don't know if this guy is going to try to come and invade us like he did when we were doing a show on Queen's public access television, and this guy just shows up uninvited. So he's unpredictable, and we have to watch out. We have to keep our backs against the wall to watch for this guy coming, and especially with Damien Demento because he has a bit of a crazy past. In his past, yesterday, they said he heard voices and used to look at the sky and would have conversations with who knows who. But now I think this medication is taking care of the voices now, but now he's become a little bit more devious and more calculated. And now he's looking to, like I said, he's putting together a group of guys that are trying to take over because there is disdain with the staff, the management, and the whole crew. Like I said, Intruder number 1, because of his suspension, he hates Mr. Biggs, which happens to be the top guy in the company. Also, there's Joseph. He's another man in the company. And of course, myself being the commissioner, they have no regard for authority. So you're going to expect the unexpected when you come to our show.
All right. Sounds great. And General Romero, what do you consider some of the highlights of your career thus far? You're still a young guy.
Oh, some of the highlights of career, I wrestled Julius Smokes, a.k.a. J-Train.
He's very colorful.
Yes, very.
I always liked him in ROH and down at the Doghouse. Yeah.
Extremely colorful. I got a chance to train with the DRS, EC Negro, and KC Blade, along with a great and I think future tag team that will make it maybe even in WWE, EYFBO, which is a great tag team. I've wrestled with the likes of Danny DeMonto. I wrestled a few guys, and I'm still paying my dues, and I'm still at the same time learning like we always do, and I'm still also kicking butt like I always will do.
There you go. And Chris, quickly, some career highlights of yours.
Oh, well, I've two-time ECW tag team champion, NWA New York light heavyweight champion and heavyweight champion. I've wrestled the likes of Ric Flair, The Undertaker, Ted DiBiase, IRS, Rick the Model Martel, Paul Orndorff, Don Morocco, Bam Bam Bigelow, Jake the Snake.
Wow.
I mean, I can go on and on, which of course would probably encompass about another 20 minutes of me digging into my memory. But
Yeah.
I've been around for 25 years, and I've been in some of the best promotions, of course, being the World Wrestling Federation at the time I was with them, which is now WWE. And I've been in some of the not so good independent promotions that have come and gone with the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun.
That's right.
One thing I wanted to just say really quickly to take the focus off myself, because right now I'm the commissioner of the World Wrestling Organization, and the focus isn't on me; it is on our guys. And just wanted to make one highlight with the World Wrestling Organization Heavyweight Championship belt. The title has been vacated because of some of the controversy that surrounded the end of that match. So at this point, the title has been vacated, which is the reason for the Battle Royal that we were discussing earlier. And right now, we said General Romero said he is one of the participants. We also have Slugger, Damian Slugger, Rage, Magic, The Last Warrior, Grey Wolf, to name but a few that are already signed on there. And the rest of the matches will be added, and we will be updating you as these events take place. We're still putting the card together. So I just wanted to give a little background on that, and just to let people know we do not have a champion. So when we have this Battle Royal, the last two participants that are left standing inside the ring will face off for that title championship.
Sounds great. And please, gentlemen, give out your contact info.
Okay, if you want to check me out on Facebook, go to Original Chris Michaels on Facebook. You'll find me there. You could also check me out. Go to Wikipedia. You can find my information on there. And go on there. If you want to participate in the World Wrestling Organization upcoming events, you can check on WWO on Facebook. We're also on there. We have WWO.org. You can find us on there. Look for us on Twitter. You can friend us, follow us, and by all means, share us, because we are truly trying to become the hottest thing on the independent circuit. And as a matter of fact, as our relaunch, we know we're hot because people's tongues are wagging.
There you go. And General, contact info?
You can look me up on my agent, George Rosario. Facebook, he has me, General Romero. On Facebook, you see some of my matches, Richard Ruiz Productions. He does very good camera work. A lot of my matches are on there. I'm also on YouTube, on the BWF channel, a few other Federation channels. And that's all in a nutshell.
There you go. And we want to wish a special 50th birthday to Joe Mandica in Australia, and a shout out to him, many more. And he's a very talented musician, and we're looking forward to having him here on Legends TV in October. Happy birthday, Joe Mandica, and to all our Australian fans and all the musicians out there. You're going to love the next set from Lisa Palizzi. So don't go anywhere, folks. Live music right here on Legends TV. We'll be right back.
Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware.
We have 3 of the largest showrooms of safes on display and in stock. You can see and touch them in person instead of browsing a catalog. We carry gun and rifle safes, burglary safes, jewelry safes, fire rated from a half hour to 2 hour. Famous name brands.
We sell Gardol.
We sell AMSAC.
The new AMSAC touchscreen.
If you're ever in need of a safe, think Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware. Right, Lockie?
That's right, Alan.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face. Goodbye. Oh no! Power!
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power!
Try this routine to feel fresh and clean. Pair Charmin Fresh Mates with your Charmin.
Oh, Spice body spray is too powerful to stay in its own commercial. That's right. Power! Old Spice body spray can change a regular smelling man into a man who smells like power!
Now, how is this? Wow, you know what? I actually do feel more powerful.
Potato chips! Power! It's me.
Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware.
We have 3 of the largest showrooms of safes on display and in stock. You can see and touch them in person instead of browsing a catalog. We carry gun and rifle safes, burglary safes, jewelry safes, fire rated from a half hour to 2 hour. Famous name brands.
We sell Gardol.
We sell AMSAC.
The new AMSAC touchscreen.
If you're ever in need of a safe, think Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware. Right, Lockie?
That's right, Alan.
Here are Vic, Claudio, Rick, and Lisa, the Lisa Palizzi Band.
Thank you.
It's been a long time since I came around. Been a long time, but I'm back in town. This time I'm not leaving without you. You taste like whiskey when you kiss me. Oh, I give anything I can to be your baby doll. This time I'm not leaving without you. You said sit back down where you belong, in the corner of my bar with your high heels on. Sit back down on the couch where we made love the first time. Then you said to me, something about this place. Something about lonely nights and my lipstick on your face. Something about my poor Nebraska guy. Yeah, something about baby you and I. It's been 2 years since I let you go. I couldn't listen to a joke or rock and roll. Muscle cars drove a truck right through my heart. On the birthday you sang me a heart of gold with a guitar humming and no clothes. This time I'm not leaving without you. Sit back down where you belong, in the corner of my car with your high heels on. Sit back down on the couch where we made love the first time. And you said to me, something about this place. Something about lonely nights and my lipstick on your face. Something about my poor Nebraska guy. Yeah, something about baby you and I. You and I. Are you and I? 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 Oh yeah, I'd rather die without you and I. Put your drinks up. Whole lot of money, but we still pay rent. 'Cause you can't buy a house in heaven. There's only 3 men that I'ma serve my whole life. It's my daddy in Nebraska and Jesus Christ. Something about the change. 6 whole years. New York woman wants to run you down with my lipstick all over your face. Something about just knowing when it's right. So put your drinks up for Madhouse. Madhouse, Evan, Tommy, Nicky, I love you, you and I. Are you and I? Are you and I? Squeeze it up. Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day, and I never lost 1 minute of sleep, and I was worried about the way things might have been. The big wheels keep on turning. Oh, primary keep on burning, and we're rolling. Oh, yeah, rolling on a river. Leaves a lot of places in Memphis. Walked a lot of stairs down to New Orleans. But I never Now it's time to bid you sweet